Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a brand new episode of our NASCAR My Driver Career Mode here on the channel. I hope you're all having a great day. Today, we have two Truck Series races coming your way, both at mile-and-a-half tracks at Las Vegas Motor Speedway as well as Atlanta Motor Speedway. So, the races are going to be a little bit shorter in terms of what I'm showing on video, but not in terms of the actual length of the races, just so we can squeeze them down into a decent timed episode here. As we start things off in Las Vegas, episode number 3. Well, the first two episodes have been very up and down. We went to Daytona on the oval side of things, and we were wrecked pretty late in that race and never just really had the speed we needed. We went to the Daytona road course last episode, ran strong. We expect to run strong at road courses, of course, but here we are on our first legitimate oval test, and it starts off with getting a good qualifying position, and unfortunately, we did not get that. I struggled in practice. I struggled in qualifying here, as we would be all the way down in 23rd place for the start of this race. So we had our work cut out for us, to say the least, here coming into Las Vegas now, as you would get rolling here on the grid. Stages today would actually be 10, 10, 20 basically is what we were following for 40 lap sprints here. So 40 laps total in Las Vegas as well as Atlanta. They'll both be following the same format of 10 laps in stage 1, 10 laps in stage 2, and then a 20 lap dash to the end of this race for stage 3. So there should be no pit stops necessary unless we maybe end up damaging our truck here. As we would get underway though from the 23rd starting position here in Las Vegas. So a lot of work to do as we start under the lights now. The sun will be down by the time this race comes to a close. John Hunter Nemechek leads the way down into turn 1 over Jay Cook there in that Taco Bell 00 Chevrolet Silverado. Travis Brown looks up the inside on the exit of turn 2, looking to have a nice bounce back after a rough couple starts. Of content creators in general have not been having great starts to this season, to say the least here. And you see Travis Brown takes the lead through 3 and 4 wide just about on the exit of turn 4 already, and there goes the 00. Of course, gets hit in the left side by the 52 of Stuart Friesen. A little bit of damage already there to the left side of that number 00 here, as I find myself 3 wide in the middle briefly as we went down into turn 1. iRacing at mile-and-a-half is absolutely insane, and you're going to see that pretty quick. It got even crazier for Stuart Friesen out of turn 4, gets run into the wall, heavy contact there as Joey Stone just ran him out of room there, and that would pretty much KO that 52 truck. And here you see Stone just came together with the 52, and into the wall Stuart Friesen goes, and he had to come to the pit lane immediately next time around to service that truck, and they were on the pit lane for quite a bit of time. We passed Travis Brown right there, and then we had a huge run on Davin Cornelius. I tried to take it to the inside on the apron. Now and there's contact with Cornelius. There are two Canadians making contact through the tri-oval, and we somehow keep it going in the right direction. You see a little bit of right front damage on the truck now after that contact with Cornelius. I was a little bit heated. I felt like he ran me out of room, so I actually run him up the track. Chomp his nose, some more contact with Cornelius as we would move up another position here, as we're somehow already closing in towards a top 10 spot here, but got very close overall with everybody, and we would just now try to focus forward and start making some moves. And we passed Michael Marutz. We got up into the top 10, and these closing moments of stage 1, as everything kind of calmed down a little bit, we were up to P9 as we started the final lap of stage 1 behind the 26 of O'Brien as well as the 75 of Parker Kligerman as we went down this back straightaway for the final time in stage 1. A nice run to the upside there of O'Brien down into turn 3, but up front you got John Hunter Nemechek, who's just cruising to a stage victory, as I'm going to try and go around the outside of that number 75 of Parker Kligerman as we exit turn 4 down the front straightaway through the tri-oval. A strong stage 1 effort here in Las Vegas for us as you see the rest of the top 10 crossing the line behind us there. So P7 cannot complain whatsoever here, as we would of course group up, run down the pace car. No pit stops necessary for myself, but some of the drivers towards the back part of the grid would come into the pit lane there. As you see, everybody that was having a rough day, Jay Cook comes in as well. He's got some left side damage now, as we would jump right into the action here, getting ready to go green for the start of stage 2. Starting on the inside row here from P7 as a green flag is up. Stage 2 is underway, and it is time to get amped in Las Vegas. There you have Amped here from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Some wild racing on these restarts here. So I'm going to go 4 wide to the outside of the 18. Here is exit turn for Smith. Right below us now, some contact on the exit of the corner. He got into my left rear. I don't know if I came down or he moved up with the little room we had, but it got even crazier here a few moments later now. 4 wide again behind us, and then you got Johnny Sauter in the 13 who runs Haley Deegan out of room. Into the wall they go, and then he gets very obviously upset. He runs into the side of her again. No caution comes out. Obviously everybody was able to keep it straight and going in the right direction, and we just continue on with our race. And that was pretty much it for stage 2 as we came straight through to the final lap of the second stage, and it's always a lot shorter in stage 2 compared to stage 1 due to the caution at the end of stage 1 happening here. As I find myself towards the top 5. I gave up a lot of ground right there through turns 1 and 2, unfortunately. Here's we go down this back straightaway for the final time. John Hunter Nemechek leading the way. He won stage 1, looking to sweep the first 2 stages there. Sheldon Creed runs him down. I'm going to the outside 3 wide with Crafton in the 75 of Kligerman on the exit of turn 4. We're going to get Kligerman, but it's not going to quite be enough for that 88 of Matt Crafton as we cross the line there behind him. By the way, I do know Matt Crafton drives a Toyota in Thor Sport this season. I just couldn't find a proper AI Toyota for his truck, so I'm working on that to get that fixed up at some point here. As now once again a lot of drivers towards the back of the grid, they would come into the pit lane and we would stay out and once again get ready to go green here for the start of stage 3, which would now get underway from the second row. Unfortunately, you can see I don't get the greatest lawn, so we get caught sleeping a little bit, and restarts are something that I definitely find myself needing to work on in this My Driver series so far. But fortunately we have a lot of time until we're anywhere near the NASCAR Cup series, so we got plenty of time to work on these restarts there. As you see towards the back, Joey's down there in that number 29 truck. A lot of right rear damage from that earlier contact he had. Overall, I was pretty confident with the speed that I had in my number 66 truck, and you do see it says 77 on the side. I finally fixed that after this race here because I never even really noticed it, but it will be fixed for the next race in Las Vegas, which you'll see very shortly here on the way now, as we would continue to try and fight with Travis Brown down with Cornelius. Jay Cook in the 00 has made one heck of a rebound up into the top 10. We know that Taco Bell Chevrolet Silverado has speed. He started up on the front row, and he had, of course, some contact on the very first lap of that race, and that set him back quite a bit as he picked up some damage here as we're behind Michael Roots. A lot of content creators around Roots, Cook, Travis Brown, Cornelius just behind us as well, but we blow the doors right off the 48. We had really good speed in this truck, and we show that because we go up the inside of John Hunter, up the inside of Matt Crafton here with now just 13 laps to go, and up into the top 5 we go now as we came through. On the exit of turn 4 behind us, a huge moment there as a bunch of drivers had a big incident. No caution comes out. Joey Stone, Ben Rhodes, Carson Hocevar involved as well here. As you see, the 18 kind of washes up into Joey Stone. They all go slamming into the outside wall. What a crazy race this has been so far. No caution, so obviously it's automatic from the race admin. That is just an AI, and they did not call it caution as I make a contact with the outside wall. But if I would have seen that myself live, I would have personally thrown the caution, but obviously I did not see that, so keep that in mind. If I see something like that personally, I'm going to throw the caution for it. Now as we come through side by side with that number 2 of Sheldon Creed, you saw me hit that wall unfortunately. Now to 6 laps to go in this race. Jay Cook leading the way, but the question is, did he burn his tires up charging through the field? And I think he did, because Sheldon Creed looks to the inside of him here with the final few laps underway now, and Cook all of a sudden way off the pace. I'm going to go through to the inside. He's going to fight hard down this back straightaway, not let me clear him so easy as we continue side by side down towards turn 3. Sheldon Creed looking for his first win on the season, trying to get himself locked into the playoffs, but we would get clear of Cook. Now to 3 laps to go. We're close to Sheldon Creed. Here comes John Hunter Nemechek though with a run behind us here, as I'm going to try and cut his nose off into turn 1. Some contact with the 4 of John Hunter there. That nearly turned into an incident here, an onboard camera shot with John Hunter Nemechek. He gets right to my back bumper. I try to cover him off right here, and just a little bit of contact, he washes up the track, and somehow we both keep it going in the right direction. Now 2 laps to go here, lap 39 of 40. We're trying to close in on the back of that 2 of Friesen, and I was really able to run him down in turn 3 specifically. That was the point where I was able to get to him, and you're going to see that once again right here as I dive down into turn 3. We close in a few car lengths nearly to his back bumper, still about a car length between himself and I as we exit turn 4. White flag in the air for Sheldon Creed as we come through the tri-oval. No pressure at this point from anybody behind us with John Hunter. He does get a little bit close, but not close enough, but you can see Creed able to open up up a gap, but I close it right up. The entry of these corners is my strong suit here today, but you see just too much time, but a bit of a checkup actually there from the two of Creed as we go down this back straightaway in just our third ever Truck Series race. A chance maybe to use the bumper. That's going to be our only shot here as we go down into turn 3 for the final time. We're going to give the two of Creed the bumper, but it's not going to be enough there as he's able to keep his truck under control and pull away on the exit of turn 4. So close in our third ever start, but Sheldon Creed wins in Las Vegas. We come through runner-up in second place. John Hunter just behind us there in third place. What a wild race here in Las Vegas now as you see me congratulating Creed after the race now. So here you see the finishing order on your screen. Cook rounds out the top 5, rounding out the top 10. You got Zane Smith, you got Cornelius and Brown. Some of the creators are inside of the top 10. Michael Roots there in the mid-teens, not the greatest day for him. He's had a bit of a rough stretch so far, and so is Joey Stone. Matt O'Brien not with a great race either. So that wasn't it. Of course, we have another race on the way, but first, before we jump into Atlanta, we're going to check out the Xfinity Series and Cup Series here from their Las Vegas weekends under the lights here. In the Xfinity Series, the last episode winner, David Sheldos from the Daytona Road Course, started on the front row here in second place. Here he fell down a little bit here, a couple spots on the opening half a lap, but then has some really good momentum down this back straightaway. So he gets clear for third place down into turn 3, makes a move up the inside of the 11 of Justin Haley there for colleague, and David Sheldos showing very, very good speed here early on in this season so far, because that 11 of Justin Haley wouldn't really be able to put up much of a fight to Sheldos as he went down into turn 1. Sheldos gets clear and runs away, and that was it. David Sheldos goes back to back, wins his second ever Xfinity Series race. I think it's just a matter of time until you see him get a Cup Series start here this season as well here, as he's been unbelievably strong. Michael Cozy Jr. there, Winval, had a bit of a rough day here in Las Vegas there, as he did not even finish inside of the top 10 and barely was in the top 20 there, down in 18th place. A bit surprising because I pretty much gave Cozy and Sheldos the exact same rating just about. So Kevin Harvick, though, he would come through to win Las Vegas in the Cup Series side of things, and it was Stuart Haas racing up inside the top 5 there with Briscoe as well as Cole Custer. And that was it for the Cup Series now as we would jump through into Atlanta Motor Speedway here in the Truck Series side of things. Now, a lot different compared to Las Vegas. The truck is a lot freer, especially early in the run here, and you're going to notice that this is my qualifying lap. This is my practice lap. I crashed the truck, unfortunately, in practice, but we were showing a lot of pace in practice. We were actually the fastest truck in practice, so I was hoping that we could replicate that in qualifying. In my first qualifying lap of 2, we found ourselves in 5th place. Down the front straightaway to come through to cross the line for the final time. We would better our lap there and go P4 for the start here in Atlanta Motor Speedway. But again, John Hunter Nemechek looking very strong. Creed crafting up inside the top 5. Joey Stone there qualified in 5th place as we would get ready to go green here from Atlanta Motor Speedway. 40 laps once again, same situation as Las Vegas. We got 10 laps in stage 1, 10 laps stage 2, 20 laps stage 3 here. So we get underway. A good start for us there as we don't really get caught sleeping there. But you know what? We got to make sure we get those other restarts down with at the end of stage 1 as well as stage 2 and maybe some other ones later. You see some new paint schemes on the truck there. The number 66 is finally corrected. It's not 77 now. And that is our NZXT paint scheme there. I made that one myself. I've made all of my truck schemes myself here, and I hope you guys do like them there, as I definitely still got some work to do on it, but did like a little purple flame kind of idea. As you guys know, NZXT is associated with the color of purple, but I overall felt like it looked pretty good, but I might change the base color to white. I think it might make the flame stand out a little bit more. But now as we came through, working our way through the order now, as we did lose a little bit of ground on that first lap, we were up inside the top 5 there, clearing Crafton, and we were really able to put this truck just full throttle into turns 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and really accelerate against these guys here. Now as we were closing in towards the later stages of stage 1, we get up to second place, and now I knew that I was burning my tires up quite a bit here because we blow the doors off of the 4 of John Hunter Nemechek. We take the lead for the first time, but we got really loose right there and opened the door back up for John Hunter to go around the outside, get back clear, but then we would fight back through 3 and 4 to his outside now as we exit the corner down the front straightaway, side by side to the line. 2 laps to go here in stage 1, nearly into the outside wall. I went right there as we go down towards this first turn, and now we should be able to clear John Hunter right there now as he runs a little bit higher this time on the track, but it does not matter. We clear John Hunter Nemechek and go to the lead here in the closing moments of stage 1. We're going to cut straight through to the final lap of this opening stage, and we were over 6/10 of a second now in front of John Hunter Nemechek down into turn 3. Like I said, I knew I was burning up my tires a little bit more than the AI, and that's why I was able to get myself so far out in front. So that's going to be a bit of a concern as we exit turn 4. Though we're going to get 10 stage points in our first ever stage victory, picking up a playoff point here if we do make the playoffs in our rookie season of the Truck Series, to see the rest of the top 10 cross the line, as Matt O'Brien got that 10th and final spot here in stage 1. No pit stops necessary for everybody up in front. Some drivers towards the back, again, of course, do come into the pit lane, so we would get ready for the start of stage 2, controlling the restart for the first time ever, and it does not go well. We lost a ton of traction there on the start. I lost the back end, nailed the number 4, John Hunter Nemechek, in the left side of his truck, so he's got damage on the left side. I've got damage on the right side, and immediately I knew that was going to be an issue there, because that was some heavy contact, and you can visually see the right side damage from this camera angle when we can't even legitimately see the right side of the truck. 3x3x3 behind us. There's some sketchy racing here in Atlanta, but I could feel the difference right away, and it wasn't really a horsepower difference, but it was a feeling difference in the corner. Instead of being a little bit more tuned to the free side, the truck was feeling a lot tighter. It did not want to turn very much, so I knew that was going to be a problem here, but we only have 6 whole laps of racing in stage 2, so I wasn't too concerned. But unfortunately, I didn't have that speed anymore that we had in stage 1. I think it was a combination not only of hitting John Hunter Nemechek and damaging my truck, but as well as abusing those tires in stage 1. But now we get a bit more of an overcast conditions here. The sun isn't out on the majority of the track, and you can see I just continue to fall down the order, and we dropped down to 6th place and kind of flatlined right here in that 6th position now, as we're going to cut straight through to this final lap of stage 2 here now, as I'm trying to hold off Austin Hill. I'm trying to hold off the Daytona winner of Derek Cross sideways on the exit of turn 2 right there. That opens the door for the 19 to go to my outside as we go down this back straightaway for the final time into turn 3 and 4, side by side with Kraus, and he is going to easily get past me. As you can see, I washed way up the track through 3 and 4, and we're at least still going to hold on to some stage points, but obviously not the performance we wanted based off of what we did in stage 1 with winning that stage. So the caution comes out, and I knew immediately we had to get this thing to the pit lane. We had to make some repairs, throw 4 fresh tires on this truck, and give up a lot of track positions, what could make us vulnerable in this third and final stage. So I knew we had to be, careful but aggressive at the same time here, because we only have 16 whole laps of racing as this third and final stage does get underway here from Atlanta. Matt Kraft and Sheldon Creed up at the front. You see the damage there on John Hunter's truck on that left side. He's got a good chunk of damage, but surprisingly is still putting up a good pace right there as we all come through 1 and 2. But you can see it's just so spread 3 to 4 wide, and I didn't know where I was going to go to be able to maneuver my way through traffic here at this point now, as we went down towards turn 3 there. As you see, a 3 wide battle just about going here for the lead with Creed as well as Crafton and Ben Rhodes, who won at the Daytona Road Course recently. Creed locked into the playoffs, and so is Ben Rhodes, but Matt Crafton, on the other hand, is not locked in here. As we come through on the exit of turn 2, there was some contact between John Hunter Nemechek, who had actually fallen down the order significantly on this restart, and he would fall way back, allowing myself to pass him. I'm moving my way through the traffic finally here as I get into the outside wall through the tri-oval, though I was just kind of not paying fully attention to that wall right there on my right hand side. A big mistake right there. I was hoping that I didn't completely KO the car, and it didn't seem like I did, because we get right back into the action, making 3 wide passes here as we exit turn 4 to the back of Grant Enfinger, who's moving his way through the field pretty well here as they're 4 wide in front of us here now, as you see that 98 slicing and dicing through the grid now as we exit turn 2. The 26 of Matt O'Brien looks to our inside as we go down this back straightaway. Contact with O'Brien, and we go spinning into the outside wall, and the caution's going to come out as we have heavy contact with the outside wall after contact with the 26. What an idiot. If I get back to him, he's going around. Not happy with the 26 of Matt O'Brien, obviously, here, as we would immediately get to the pit lane as soon as we could. But looking at the replay, I didn't know it at the time, but it actually looked like I might have come down just a little bit into the 26. He was very tight on my door, but I'm pretty sure, just based off that replay, it did look like I actually just slightly came a little bit to the left. So at the end of the day, It was my fault. I didn't know it at the time, so obviously I was a little bit heated here because we've had an opportunity today, in my opinion, to win in Atlanta, and we messed it up on the restart of stage 2, and then here we are putting ourselves in an even worse position, getting crashed, and I immediately noticed a difference. Less than 10 laps to go, by the way, in this race, and I have to take every opportunity I can, going 3-4 wide if I need to here up the inside of Jennifer Jo Cobb, but I could tell that the horsepower was gone in this truck because we had, I think it was about 3 minutes of optional damage repairs that we could do, and I only took about a minute and a half of those, so I knew that this truck wasn't going to be that fast, but it was extremely fast through the corners because we had the 4 fresh tire advantage, so we are still able to slice and dice through this field even with a horsepower disadvantage, simply because we have about 30 lap fresher tires in the majority of the field here, and you can see me moving my way through the field here in these closing moments of this race in Atlanta up until now, the top 20 surprisingly here. Now, and this was a surprise to me. I knew we had, of course, those fresh tires and we were going to be hauling the mail through the corners, but I didn't think it would make this much of a difference. But it is Atlanta Motor Speedway, a track very harsh on tires, as I'm going to go 3 wide between Kraus as well as Michael Roots there, and that 48 on our outside clear just about a Kraus, but not quite enough there. He's going to stay to my left rear quarter panel as we get cleared by that 48, but we would get by him still, and we would clear Joey Stone and move into the top 10 with 2 laps to go. I did not think we would get this far, and we got up to 7th place by the white flag here behind that 99 of Ben Rhodes as I'm going to slice to his outside, and it's Grant Enfinger. We saw him slicing his way through the field before we got crashed by O'Brien. Well, that's who was leading the way on the final lap down the back straightaway into turns 3 and 4 for the final time. Enfinger, not even full time in real life, but is in this My Driver series. Well, he's going to come through out of turn 4 to win in Atlanta. Travis Brown there, right behind Matt Crafton there in 3rd place. So a great day for Travis as we come through to cross the line for somehow a strong 7th place finish there, but still disappointing. But I wasn't done yet. I was looking for that 26th of Matt O'Brien. There he was, pulling up just behind us here in a few moments' time. Joey Stone goes around us, but there's that 26 Craftsman Chevrolet Silverado right there of O'Brien here now, as I would certainly let him know I wasn't too pleased with what happened on the track there now, as I would slam into him a couple of times. But we're going to jump through into my post-race quote there about that 26. Honestly, I thought he completely dumped me, but it actually looked like I came down looking at the replay, so apologies to him. There you hear myself, at least, giving an apology there and accepting responsibility for that incident. As you see the finishing order there, some more content creators running well today. Joey Stone up inside the top 10, Cornelius again as well. So in the next episode, that's when I'm going to start showing the actual point standings for these series. So as you can see, out of turn 4 in Atlanta on the Saturday, it was Justin Allgaier winning the Xfinity race over David Schildhouse in 2nd place, his worst finish in the last 3 races. Is 2nd place. Once again, Cozy had a bit of a rough day outside of the top 10 there in P13. So Cozy definitely needs to step it up pretty quick here in these next few episodes. Now, as a Cup Series side of things, it was William Byron on Sunday coming through to deliver for Hendrick Motorsports. He would win in Atlanta in a close finish there alongside Mark Truex Jr., Kyle Larson, and Kyle Busch there. So he's locked into the playoffs now, but that does it for today's episode of this NASCAR My Driver series. Hope you guys enjoyed. Of course, very soon we'll be starting as well the late model series, where there will be some community members and other content creators in there as well. And in the next one, we go to Bristol as well as I think it was Richmond. So gonna be a fun one. I'll see you guys in the next one. Of course, thank you to the Going Racing members, and have yourselves a great day, everybody.